Hello, SimTheWorld here. We are back with Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. Today, we are continuing through our story orders, and we've got this pickup truck in the shop. Looks like it's got some body damage. Looks like it needs some new rims on the back. Let's see what the customer says. Hi, my new purchase has paid off. This caster is much better for off-roading than my SUV. Unfortunately, my bad luck is still with me, but I've had a little mishap in the forest. It's a long story. You know me, and you know of my great ideas that I sometimes get. I hope you won't give up on me when I see the car. Do whatever you can to fix it up, please. So, it's been off-roading. I think this is a return customer. Certainly makes it sound that way. Maybe a broken SUV or something like that. They don't give names, so it's a little hard to tell, but if it's off-roading, I suspect we're going to be doing a lot of suspension parts. Let's go ahead and jump in, give it a little looky-loo. Yeah, it looks like the suspension up front needs to be replaced. The transfer case and the front axle, drive shaft, rear end needs to be replaced. Okay, we've got quite a bit to do. Hopefully it's no engine jobs. Let's take a look at repair and replace body parts. So we do have to replace a lot of the body parts, and we'll repaint it stock color. So the past few cars have told us that we need to, spray paint them white. I'm curious if factory color has just switched to white for everything. That would be kind of unfortunate, but I suppose only time will tell. Let me get the body parts in, and I'll meet you guys over at the lifter. Yeah, that's the name for it. Alright, so I replaced all the body parts. I wasn't too worried about. There's a few of them that we didn't have to. It's just easier to buy all the parts for the car and to take care of that all at once. And I'll get my money back when I repair and sell his old parts. So it all works out. We did have to drain the oil. They wanted us to replace that. I'm going to go through and we'll rip this apart. Try to figure out all the parts we need to replace. Again, I'm pretty sure we need to just stick underneath the car. Some of this is fine. Looks like... yeah, it looks like a lot of the front end is okay. We will have to take out these bushings. So if we do that... okay, this can come out. Yeah, you can see how black these bushings are, and I think we need to replace them all. That would make sense. If you're taking this off-road, you're going to beat this up pretty bad. Of course, it would be cool to see some off-roading capabilities out of these cars. Maybe in the new game. Some setups that we could actually do this with. The bushing, the wheel bearing's fine. So, get back over here. Sometimes it's so hard to get a good angle on this. The steering rack and everything, the assembly for that looks like it's fine, so I don't need to rip that out today. But the rear end we will be taking everything out of to remove. Get the front drive shaft out. Get the drive shaft itself removed and the transfer case. I'll take the gearbox off just to double check that the flywheel and pressure plate is in good condition. And then we'll tackle the rear end. Something I noticed as I was tearing the rear end of the car apart was that all of the exhaust was missing. He must have took that out underneath when he was off-roading. Makes sense in my mind. We also need to replace the back rims. while I was doing that, I took care of the front and put everything back in there. There wasn't too much, and I didn't want to mix up the rims. So let's get the tires separated. It's not often that I actually go ahead and do this the right way, but of course sometimes you just want to save money, and this is what you do in the shop. So we'll install the new rim, and we'll have to balance this as well. Of course, I say this every time. This is exactly where I wish we could buy new tools, we could place multiple balancers, things like that. But alas, that does not seem to be the case. Maybe in 2021, that should be coming out later this year, but there's no guarantees what we'll see in the game. It's amazing how long the balancer really takes. I know it is probably realistic that it's not an instant thing. It would be nice in the new title if we actually get something to do with it. I know we're getting that brake lathe we saw in the teaser trailer. Hopefully that means there's going to be more interactive modules. I know I've always been a strong believer that in addition to the workbench, maybe giving us a bench for the gearbox where we can make modifications, or really that'd be cool if that's where we repair it, and you could have a kind of subset where you can pull that apart, you get all the different gears and the clutch assembly and everything involved there. Of course, nothing has been mentioned of that. I don't really expect to see that in Car Mechanics Simulator 2021. But who knows? No details are out there yet. Most of this is just speculation. And speculation's healthy to some degree. I know that developers definitely see that the community wants different items. And it's just a matter of how soon and what's realistic for the game. Let's see. So I need to pick up a couple exhaust pipes. You do that now. They come up right at the beginning, so I know where they're at. Some of these parts you get really quick. You use them so often that you know exactly where to go in the shop to find them. Which is kind of cool since there's so many. They've got over 1,000 parts in this game. There's so much to learn and work with. And hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more variety in the new game. They've already got all these parts made, the models set up. I know in the teaser trailer we saw a lot of new cars, so hopefully they take advantage. Because some of these, this whole rear end assembly, we've done this so many times in so many of these videos. I'd like to see a little more variety. And I know there is some, in real cars. It's not just one standard assembly. Otherwise, a lot of these parts would be dirt cheap, and this work wouldn't be thousands of dollars every car. But we're about to wrap up the rear end. We'll take a look. I drained the oil, so we'll have to fill that back up. I'm curious if there's any other parts we'll need to find. Hopefully not. Am I not going to be able to reach now? Of course not. Sometimes the drive shaft is just a little too long. You don't need it to be super long. An average size drive shaft will satisfy most cars. Everyone's happy with that. Let's go in, jump in, and I'm YOLOing it. We're going to put the oil in now. Then we'll check the inventory list and see if there's anything else to replace. So here's the part list. It's looking good so far. Well, it looks like we found it all. Fantastic. Body part's done, the oil's done. We just need to paint it the stock color. place your bets now. Write down in the comments, what color you think the stock color of this car will be. I'll know if you're cheating and, write it afterwards, of course. Here we go. Factory paint is white again. Oh my goodness. They must have changed this. I don't remember. I remember you being... I remember factory paint being different colors, so... I don't know if this is an update to the game, or if my game file is just corrupt in some way and it tossed out all those color files. But yeah, it just seems like a white paint seems to be the factory default, which, on the truck doesn't look too bad. I've been giving it the white paint a lot of issues, but it seems to kind of fit the truck. I can see it on SUVs, but let's get this returned to the customer so he can get back to off-roading. Hopefully he knocks everything off again and we make another 43 grand off this truck. One can only hope. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. We're cruising through these story orders. Hopefully we'll be wrapping this up in the next few weeks. And we'll hopefully have a new game to take a look at. Or maybe some mods and things like that we'll jump into as well. I'm really planning on doing a few more episodes of Revhead, jumping through and taking a look at the different DLC and how the game progresses. Maybe not as detailed as this series has been, but let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates to future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch, as I'll occasionally stream live. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.